Hello and welcome to Dad Bods and Bad Attitudes. I'm your host, Christopher Samela, and I'm joined, of course, by my partner in crime, my co-host, Mark Davis, as well as a very special guest, Britt Robinson, candidate for Congress in District 4 of Florida. So we're going to get right into the conversation. Mark has some topics. We're going to get into Britt's story, and we're going to hear a lot about what she has planned for the people of District 4 as we get into the show. So, Mark, I'm going to turn it over to you. Why don't you get into some of these topics that you have to discuss?
Yeah, man. Exciting episode. Exciting to meet Britt. I looked at a lot of her information. I looked at her website. It looks like everything is done really well. So kudos to you. You look like a fun person. So I'm happy to talk to you. But just real quick, I want to talk about something that happened to me today as I was doing calls. Are you doing like any kind of call time or?
Yeah, here and there.
Yeah.
We've been focusing on community outreach the last few weeks, but yeah, call time definitely trickles in here and there.
Yeah, we're getting heavy into that. We just hired a finance advisor, so we're like doing 4 to 5 hours of call time a day. I like it. It's actually kind of fun to be able to talk to people. But anyway, I talked to a Republican today, and he was actually he had donated $100 to my campaign last night. Okay, and this morning I saw that he had donated, so I called him real quick, right, and just want to say thank you for donating. And come to find out, the guy was a 40-year Republican. And
Wow.
yeah, and he was looking, it was interesting. And we had a really good call. And, if you follow any of my material online, like I'm not shying away from MAGA or chest. I'm not backing away with my opinions on the state of America right now and Trump. And I think it just needs to be said and people want to hear it. Right. But anyway, I was talking to the guy. And he said, I really appreciate what you're doing out there, and there's a lot of Republicans that understand that what's going on is not right. And we're quiet right now, but you're going to hear from more and more. And this guy, like, he has his finger on the pulse of Florida politics. And because he was talking about things in like my race that he looked into and things about my opponent. And, so and it was just really interesting for him to contact me being such a vocal, advocate for change right now. And, but it was just really heartwarming and great to hear. And it just kind of put me at pause for a second and might actually cause me to do a little bit of a shift, and we'll see. But, Trump right now has a 36% approval rating, I think it was the last time I saw.
Yeah.
He is widely unpopular, at some.
Who could have predicted, Mark? Mark, who could have seen this coming?
Yeah, exactly. Right. And I did this, from the beginning. I was just going hard. And I was just trying to get this over with as soon as possible, and shake the ground and wake people up. So anyway, that was just a cool win. And
Awesome.
just looking forward to, the thing progressing. But anyway, Britt, I want to ask you, did you watch the State of the Union last night?
A little.
Yeah.
A little.
Not with audio.
Okay.
As in, I was sitting at a bar with constituents.
Oh, nice.
And the bar had it on TV.
Gotcha. Imagine that, like you're in a sports bar and the entertainment for the evening is Donald Trump's State of the Union with no audio. That's what we got
just
on to look at.
Subtitles, and that was probably for the best.
Absolutely.
Although it's, when you hear him and you're like, wow, he is struggling to get words out. Yeah, very incoherent. But then it's worse when you're reading it.
Yeah.
And
it 100% is.
I just stopped watching because I was like, I can't process this right now.
There was no need for that. Yeah, no need for you to watch that or subject yourself to that.
What
Mark,
about you,
did you
Chris?
watch?
I didn't watch it. I watched
Same.
The Midas Touch. Yeah. Did you watch The Midas Touch?
Me? No.
I watched Mission Impossible 8, I think it was.
8? Is there 8?
We were on the last one, my wife and I.
MSN, they put on their own little show, and it was streamed on YouTube, and they had like 20 different congressional people out there, and it was pretty cool. And they had Joe Walsh came out there. He spoke, and he really lit up the crowd. They had some really, really good, heartwarming stories. It just kind of felt like America, and then in the background, you see this like ominous glow of this like
Orange head?
Orange. Well, it was like an orange Capitol building, right? And it was like
Oh,
this ominous glow in the background, and because you could see the Capitol building through the stage of the one that MSN put up,
got it.
and it was just kind of cool. It was kind of bizarre, and it just kind of showed. It was weird to me because it just really felt that there's two Americas right now,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
two
That
different
that
types of reality.
Mark, that's actually a good way to put it, and I think that people have kind of come to understand that like we're living in silos, we're partitioned off from one another, and it's really destructive to our society. People are their own chambers, hearing what they want to hear, not what they need to hear, and certainly we're on one side, and I can feel like I'm comfortable in saying that these people are living in an alternate reality with alternate facts, but it's just as easy for them to say the same thing,
Hmm.
and that's unfortunate. Well, I wanted to ask you, Mark, because you seem to be watching alternative programming, like the
Mhm.
Puppy Bowl or something.
Sure.
Do you know how many Democrats sat out last night compared to were in attendance
It wasn't a substantial amount, but I want to say it was around 20.
that sat out?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Should have
total.
been everybody, in my opinion. I wouldn't have gone.
Yeah, yeah. It was I don't know. I guess the moment, Britt, that stuck out to me was like when I think he like motioned to the Democrats and said, stand up or something, and they didn't stand up, and that was like the big deal. It's just, I don't know. I'm just tired of it.
Disappointing.
Yeah.
Like, I think that from the bits that I saw was, the performance by the Democrats is not a true opposition party like it should be. And they chose to sit quietly. Okay. Like, that's what got us here
Hmm.
is
Right.
civility and letting a tyrant continue to, trample democracy and dismantle our entire government. Exactly the same thing. We've kind of, as a whole, like the view of the Democratic Party is that they haven't been showing up for us in
Hmm.
the way that we are asking them to. And I think that was a perfect summary at the State of the Union.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So before we dive into like some of the harder topics, or not harder topics, but the meats and potatoes of what we're doing
Yeah.
here, why don't you just kind of tell us, Britt, a little bit about your campaign? What's
Yeah.
got you energized and motivated to run? How is your campaign going? Just kind of give us a overview of like when you started and how you got here.
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, I'm running for Florida District 4. That's Northeast Florida. It's all of Nassau County, all of Clay County, and then the west and north side of Duval. We split Duval County with District 4 and District 5 split Duval County. So if you're on the west or north side of Duval, you've got District 4.
Okay.
And yeah, it's one of the districts that was gerrymandered after the 2020 census in Florida.
Right.
And so
Is that
this
the
is
one
our,
that they gerrymandered? Pardon me. I just want to
yeah,
clarify because there was one where they expressly targeted to make sure that a black representative was
yes,
basically lost.
correct. Yes, this is the
Okay.
district.
All right. Got
Or
it.
this area is part
That
of
area
that.
specifically. Okay.
Yeah, correct. And yeah, so this district, it's only its third race. It has been R6, and then in the last year, it's now R5.
Uh-huh.
And the last cycle was within 15 points. And the data shows that this seat is absolutely flippable with the right candidate.
Mhm.
I believe I'm the right one. But yeah, I come from a working class background. And I believe that we need younger candidates, but
Uh-huh.
specifically working class candidates who will fight for the everyday people, working families. And so much of our society and our politics specifically is overrun and controlled by corporations and billionaires and then the corrupt politicians that they have bought over the years. And we need to get away from that. So we need to have a fresh slate of representatives who understand the struggles of everyday Americans and will fight for them.
Yep.
And that's what I plan to do.
Awesome.
Yeah, the race it's going well so far. We've got 6 months. We were one of the last primaries, so we have some time. It will be very interesting to see how this administration reacts to progressives, hopefully, winning their primaries over the next 6 months. And if that has any effect on Florida. If there's any backlash to us, we'll obviously see in time. But yeah, we're really excited. Jacksonville has been fighting for so long to have adequate
Yeah.
representation. And, it's kind of like it is with a lot of other areas in the country. It's kind of all coming to a head. And it's a make or break moment. And it's very exciting. It's a very exciting moment.
I kind
I bet
of
it
look
is.
like this too. Like I think this is going to be a huge changeover, right?
Absolutely.
And regardless if, I think it is going to be a blue wave. It's going to be a progressive wave. I really do
Yes.
think that is going to be the case. But
Yep.
regardless of that, the good thing that comes out of that is that you have all these grassroots candidates that are coming up and
Yes.
said enough is enough.
Yes.
Right. And it's all over. You have, Bernard Taylor, who couldn't make it
Love him.
today, but he's fantastic. You
Yep.
have yourself, and we have Marilana Kinter over in District 7, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ron for Congress in District 6. So it's just either way, what happens, we're going to recycle out of some of these fossils that are in Congress, and we're going to bring
Yeah.
new
Yes.
energy and younger
Yes.
people that actually are fighting the issues that are at hand. Like
Yeah.
I talk to a lot of people around here, right? And this is a very big retirement area. And a lot of the people around here just don't understand how bad our schools are, right? Or how
Mhm.
difficult it is for our kids that are graduating college to find a job and to afford a home. So no
Mhm.
blame to them. They just don't see it, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't impact them. So
Yeah.
how do you draw those people in and say, hey, those policies that you're championing are hurting us, right? Like, how do we make them understand that? I don't.
Yeah. I mean, I think that starts with having candidates who can build that bridge from shared experience. I think that's, having people that come from the same family background or working background, or shared emergency, like, something happened, traumatic event, and that's a shared experience that if you had money, maybe wouldn't have happened to you. And I think that's kind of the point of all of this is when 2% of Congress comes from a working class background, and then the majority of Americans are struggling in day-to-day lives, then something is amiss, right?
Mhm.
And I don't think that the representatives that we have, given their backgrounds, I don't think that they can truly understand what's at stake
No.
and what we're facing, and that this isn't like, it's not just a devastating or like a difficult moment, it's catastrophic. And
Right.
it can take out not just like if you have an emergency and need to go to the hospital, or you lose your job because you got laid off. Those are all things that can wipe out an entire family.
hmm
And that's what I went through with my mom. I'm sure we'll talk about that later. I can share, but it's having these shared experiences, I think, that builds that initial bridge where people are a little more receptive to having difficult conversations.
Yeah.
Britt, I really like this quote that you chose to put on your website. The fate of America could not depend on any one man. The greatness of America is grounded in principles and not on any single personality.
Yeah.
And that kind of describes like this guy who said, "I alone can fix it." And obviously, he's not fixing anything other than fixing to make his pockets fatter.
hmm
Yeah.
But apart from that, I think that what you're saying is something that is eminently relatable to regular people. It's human. It's ground level. You're not talking above or over. The regular American. Your comment about the 2%, in Congress that come from a working class background. It's all people who were born into money, connected. Their families were politicians.
Yeah.
They are lawyers in many cases, which is not necessarily a bad thing for you to be if you're in Congress, but it can't be nothing but lawyers.
Yeah.
And they don't relate. Like you said, they don't understand, but they can't relate. And I'm not sure they care.
No.
They don't care. They wouldn't be voting for what they're voting for if they cared at all. I mean, with what they're doing with voting rights, they don't care. What they're doing with your health care, they sure as shit don't care. And we could go on and on. I mean, what they're trying to to do with Trump and his plan for AI and data centers, and basically allowing all these tech companies to grease his wheels so that they can have carte blanche to do whatever they want in America in terms of using our natural resources and public utilities for their own benefit and enrichment. So none like that whole wing of the party or of our representation in government does not care. So having yourself, someone like yourself, and the others that we've spoken to, and I think that Mark, you bringing up the fact that Ron Rivera in District 6 and Mary Elena Kinter in District 7. We've spoken to, can't forget the one New Yorker we had on besides me, Sal Padalaro, a fellow Paisan in New York, running in in Queens. Another young guy, I think he said he was 27, 28, something like that. All these folks care about making the world a better place. And I'm sure that every Republican and I'm sure every MAGA wants to snicker and scoff at the idea, but understand something. There actually are people who care about other people. And usually they're Democrats or liberals, and they're not, your Republican wealthy class, the Epstein class, if you will. It's not that. We know what they care about, and it's not other Americans. So I just wanted to opine on that a little bit because I think you really teed it up with the way you framed that, Britt. But go ahead with what are your thoughts about that?
So I think all of it ties back into exploitation.
Mhm.
And it's what's on my
I see that. Yeah.
graphics is pro people and
No, it's good.
anti-exploitation.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing in every facet of our lives. And
Yeah.
we're
Mhm.
seeing it like with our environment. We're seeing it with our grocery prices, where through the height of COVID and since then, they've raised our grocery prices and hit record-breaking profits
At the same time.
Yes, at the same time. And that, goes with goods and the tariffs being passed down. All of these things they're just draining us, like, of our ability to exist on this planet, especially in this country. And outside of this country, right? We're seeing that also with targeting, Israel targeting Gaza, Palestine. We're seeing it in Sudan. We're seeing it in all over South America, that we are funding all of this exploitation, but like this targeted violence of people who are, just trying to fucking live. And like it just shouldn't be this hard. And they're intentionally making it more difficult for us to corner us into begging for scraps that will take whatever they give us. And that's, also applicable to the Epstein files and the whole network that seems to be involved in that.
Yep.
And we have to
It's almost like a portion of the population, and that's MAGA. A portion of the population has been convinced that it's okay just to not ask for more, not to embetter
Right.
life, right?
Yeah.
When you see all these billionaires become ultra rich and they have enough money to give their 12th grandchildren 11 homes, and they're like clapping for that, right? But then
I
you
know.
look at your own life and
Trained seals.
like trained seals, and then you look at your own life and you don't want to ask for your own life to be better. Yeah, I want better health care. Yeah, I want college tuition assistance. Like when did America forget to demand those benefits, right? Rather than say, that's socialism or whatever.
Yeah.
We're
Well, Mark,
rich
it's a great way to frame it because what Britt mentioned a moment ago, the Epstein class, these folks that are in the files, these tech billionaires, whether they're the new AI guys or, the social media group, Elon, Palantir, we can keep going on. If it's that class, it's the people in the Epstein files, it's the old money. The reality, the veneer is off. We know what is really going on. And so Britt's line about pro people, anti-exploitation, what's really going on is they want the end of democracy. They don't care if you have your little elections that don't mean anything, but they want to end democracy. They do not want you and me or MAGA or any of their supporters to have any say in anything. That's the one thing that MAGA is failing to understand here. It's Trump, Vance, Thiel, Musk, all the rest of them, everybody in the files, that whole class of people do not want any of us to have any say over what happens to us or to anybody else, and certainly not to them. They want to dictate the terms of the rules of engagement, the rules of the game, period. They want to control every facet of everything. They have this thing that they're trying to create Prospera out off the coast of Honduras, trying to make a little world of their own as a petri dish, a little test subject, microcosm, proof of concept, if you will.
Yeah.
I'll throw all the vernacular out there. They want to create something that they can test and see if they can actually parlay that over a larger, country. They're trying to take over every natural resource so that they can have data centers everywhere. They're getting the government, and this is all collusion. They're conspiring together to get all these detention centers around the country. There's an article right now, I can probably find it on here, about Anthropic doesn't want to give Keg's Breath access to an AI that can scan for any Americans and surveil any Americans, like correspondence or conversation. They don't want to give it to them because what they're really planning to do is shut this whole fucking thing down, not have any. He said you wouldn't need to vote again. The plan is to shut this motherfucker down. If you talk, you go into a detention center. Maybe you don't come out.
Yeah.
Who knows?
You get disappeared. Yep.
You get disappeared, whatever it may be. This is the fucking plan. And all the billionaires are behind it.
Yep.
And we need MAGA to come to the table because they're going to get fucked just as well as we are.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
And we're 3 white people. Think about the ramifications if they could give a shit about us. They shot 2 white people in the streets of Minnesota, and called them the terrorists. So, what we're talking about here is the most serious thing that anybody living right now has ever lived through, except maybe the dawning of the nuclear age and the fact that a couple atom bombs got dropped. There's really nothing. There's no other precedent for what's happening right now between AI, like this technological revolution, which we just want to give away our humanity to these people, and then just allow them to take all of our voting rights and everything else, and to deplete our ability to earn a living for ourselves. This is all part of a vast conspiracy. If you asked me a year ago if it was, I probably would have said no. Yeah. Mark and I were talking off camera that the Epstein thing and all the pedophile ring and Pizzagate, who's believing that shit? Who was believing any of that? I was completely fucking wrong. It's all true. It's just that it's a certain segment of the population. It's not MAGA necessarily. Yep. It's the Epstein class, billionaires. It's all part of their plan, and they're all raping kids, sex trafficking, all the other sick shit that they're doing. This is all part of their plan. We're in the middle of what they want now.
Britt, can I say something real quick?
I just needed to get all that out. Go ahead.
I want to make a plea.
Yeah, talk about it.
To MAGA, right?
Go ahead.
And usually I don't talk to MAGA on here. I just said I don't care about MAGA. I'm just gonna bulldoze over MAGA and pretend they don't exist. But let's just get on the same page here. Like I love MAGA people. Like there's a bar down the road that I love to go to, and they're all MAGA people, and I love them, right? Like they're but the politics, we're the same people, right? Can we make a plea and just go after the fucking billionaires, right?
I think that we can all agree on that. They're hoarding literally all the wealth. There are 8 people that have as much wealth as 50% of the country.
That's what. That's the enemy, right?
And they're going to be trillionaires in the next 5 years.
Right.
They're going to have, personal wealth. They already have personal wealths larger than GDPs of countries.
That's correct.
So, yeah, you were talking about, I'll circle back a little bit to what this whole web of all these tech billionaires. That was basically the start of what eventually led me into running for Congress was I was supposed to work for Veterans Affairs. I had been hired by the VA to be an interior designer. to service. It was a GS-11 position. So I'd be servicing a couple different clinics outside of Chicago. And then Trump took office and they rescinded my offer, along with thousands of other people that were pending positions that are desperately needed. So with my free time, I started researching all of the backers of Trump's campaign, all the tech billionaires sitting right behind him. And I was on a mission to figure out like what their philosophies are and what was their vision for the future. And it was basically everything you lined. It's extremely dystopian.
Right.
They want to, and we can lump in Mark Zuckerberg in with that too. Him and his
Happy
wife
to
have
do it.
Yeah, him and his wife
Lump
have
'em.
a foundation that is seeking to eliminate global disease in 100 years. And that includes genetic manipulation.
Mark,
Right.
And then,
Mark was in the Epstein files too. So he's
Yes.
pictured with
yes, he is.
Epstein.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And then with Prospera in Honduras, that's the tester for a freedom city. And that's what Trump wants to build here, which is just an idea he got from the tech billionaires who all believe in a global monarchy.
Yep.
They also have their own niche of far-right Christian accelerationism,
Yep.
where they want to bring about the end of the world. Peter Thiel specifically believes in having this global monarchy, which is controlled by AI, like a global surveillance system.
Yeah.
And that anyone or anything that interrupts that goal being achieved is the Antichrist. And he kind of flips back and forth about what his vision of it, the Antichrist is. But anyway, these people are nuts.
Crazy.
Right. Let's get down to it. They're fucking crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're, I mean, a
Bananas.
bunch of psychos. And
Yep.
and in Honduras, they are trying to grow external uteri, like they're growing uteruses, which could be great for women or people who want to carry and don't have the ability to, but that is not their goal. Their goal is not improving the ability of people who want kids to have them.
Let me guess. They want to make clones or slaves or something.
Yeah. Yep. And then when you also add in that Hegseth is colluding or, up on stage with, what was it, Doug, what's his face? Anyway, that far right Christian pastor that believes that,
Right.
that we need to bring back slavery, like
Yeah.
full on,
Yeah.
and that it's not that bad. It's actually a good thing. And that was this week that he did it again.
Yeah.
So I think some of the problem here is that Trump has, and I hate to like say it's not, but Trump has promised all these people everything, right? And they're the seedy people. They're the people that should be shoved in the corners and you don't shine any light on them, right?
Yeah.
But he shoved them out of the corners and he brought light on them because they gave him money. And now he's got all these promises to all these seedy people and they're all taken.
Yep. And JD Vance is not going to be any better.
No.
He's
100%.
exactly the same, but less charisma, if you can say Trump has any. I
Right.
mean,
Look,
he's-
that's exactly it.
Mhm.
Well summarized. I mean, JD Vance is like Trump, but without the charisma.
Yep.
He's completely unlikable. See, the thing about Trump is, leave him in a room to operate. He gets people on his side. Like he does do that. He has that ability.
Yeah.
He's, you put Mom Donnie in there and they schmoozed each other.
Yeah.
Right. That's supposed to be what a politician does. So the irony,
Yeah.
of course, is that he was the anti-politician 10 years ago when he came along to MAGA, except he was the ultimate politician because that's exactly how they operate and that's exactly what he did. And he got over on them and everybody else as part of, his whole act. And now look at the ramifications of it, because it's not that I don't think he would have even thought of the shit that's going on 10 years ago. Do you think that Trump was thinking about what the fuck is going on now? The guy's completely lost his mind. He's surrounded by the worst people who have ever lived, which was not the case 10 years ago. So I think that this thing has spiraled completely out of control because he's a guy who's consumed with retribution. And if he sees that he was wronged and he tried to steal the 2020 election and was unsuccessful. So now he's got to definitely have his vengeance upon the people who didn't vote for him and didn't go the way he was supposed to when he was trying to rig the 2020 election. He wouldn't keep saying it was rigged and all that if he wasn't the one who rigged it. He knows that he was trying to do it.
Yep. Yep. And he's desperate. He's desperate.
Very
I
desperate.
think this whole presidency was really about him staying out of prison. I don't know that he
Yeah.
necessarily would have ran again if he wasn't facing prison time. I think he would have just
I agree.
slunk back off to wherever he came from, and Mar-a-Lago probably, and just, you know, ridden out his life. But we were coming for him, and he knew that, and he's desperate.
The
And
only thing I would say about that, on the other side of that, is that this man has made all of his money since he's ran for election, right? So
yes,
Yeah.
running for election is this guy's entire business model.
That's his business
yes,
model. It's
he
a great way
wants
to
to
put it.
be. I think a big part of it is that he wants to be the richest man at
Whoever
the
lives.
time of him dying. I mean,
Yeah.
ever lived, but definitely by the time he dies.
Yeah.
And so he's having to compete. Like, he hates Musk and
Yeah.
Vance and all of them. He hates them with a passion because they have something he doesn't, which is, you know, one of the richest, you know, top 5 people in the world. And yeah, he's jealous. Like, these are a bunch of insecure, jealous, like, men, and
Yeah.
they can't handle having anybody, you know, dislike them or not being the best of whatever their insecurity is.
And they all have
They're all
dirt on each
man-child, right?
Yes.
Each one of them is a man-child.
Yes.
All right, we need to get into a little bit of policy here. So,
Go ahead.
Britt, I was just looking at your profile, and it looks like you have a story that you know, and kind of talking about billionaires hoarding
Yeah.
everything, and then us not getting anything, right? So, kind of speak on what happened to your family and medical bills.
Yeah. So I grew up mostly with my mom. I come from a military family. My dad is a Marine. I can't say was. He would be very upset.
Yep.
A family of Marines. And but I grew up mostly with my mom as a single mom. And when I was going into high school, she got sick. And this was a very bad time to get sick. It was around 2008-ish.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
she had pre-existing conditions. And this was also before the ACA was passed. So
Mhm.
if you had pre-existing conditions, your healthcare was even more expensive if you could get it at all. And so she
Mhm.
couldn't. And when she got sick, you know, didn't know what was going on with her. He had money saved and went through that pretty fast because medical bills are obviously expensive. Yeah, we ended up getting evicted, and I had to move across the country to live with family and friends. And at the, yeah, I was bouncing around to
Yeah.
graduate, and at the mercy of whoever would take care of me, let me
Yeah.
be at their house. And yeah, it's at the same time, like, not knowing if my mom was going to be alive the next day,
Sure.
because at least, you know, at that point now we're separated, so I don't even have eyes on her. But it was a very traumatizing time.
Yeah.
And I tell my story because it's not uncommon. Like,
Mm-mm.
it's not rare. It's not uncommon. This is something that so many families have dealt with and are dealing with, especially now with subsidies going away again. And that I can talk about what, like, the catastrophic, like I was talking about earlier, the catastrophic damage that affects an entire family and can wipe out the future of, you know, of kids too. And that's what I want to prevent. I don't
Yeah.
want other people and their families to have to go through what we went through. It's not necessary. And we don't talk enough about the fall that you have to go through when you are stable and you're, you know, in a home, fed, everything is good, and how much you have to lose before you can qualify for benefits. You might have to lose your house, your car, all of your savings down to under $2,000 or less.
Mm.
And so imagine, like, just how much you have to go through everything. You have to lose everything.
You basically have to be destitute.
Yes. And I think that's, you know, there's a lot of conversations about, well, we can't afford to provide healthcare. I think that's bullshit, because we don't have that conversation when we're sending missiles to Israel.
No.
Or any other country. So
Mm-mm.
I find that to be bullshit. But also, if we look at the economic futures it's the more cost-effective model is to
Yes.
make sure that people are healthy and housed if you want to like continue to have someone be a part of our economy. So you can basically look at it. I look at it from every direction. Like if we are going to approach this from a more pragmatic angle, although along with that, people just deserve to fucking live.
Yeah.
The numbers back up what we want, and we have to bust through the billions, if not trillions of dollars of misinformation, disinformation, propaganda that
Yeah.
has kept us from believing that we deserve better, that
Right.
our government can provide for us. And that doesn't mean that it's fully socialism or fully communism, where it's a bad word. We give benefits to people who work for the government and our military. And that's what I've always had, coming from a military family, and then my husband being active duty Navy right now, is I've always had the stability of healthcare. I've never had to worry about how much it will be for me to go to a doctor, or what bill I might get. And I've had multiple procedures in my life. Some of them have been upwards of $60,000, $80,000. And I've paid $50 for them.
Mm-hmm.
And if I didn't have the benefit of military health insurance, then I wouldn't be talking to you today. I'd probably be in fetal position in my bed, in pain, or not being able to walk. And that everyone deserves to have, people deserve to live. And it's not just like being empathetic to people. It's what I believe our government should be doing, is taking care of us.
I think
It's pretty simple.
Yeah, one of the big issues is like the whole socialism thing. Like people just need to get away from it, right? Yes,
Yep.
we are a democracy, okay, but we have social programs already.
Yeah.
A bunch of
Yeah.
social programs, our road, and then Medicare,
Yep.
and it goes on and on and on.
Yep.
How many social programs? So
Social Security, yeah.
security,
Yeah.
right? Cool. Okay, so we are that.
Mark, there's
already.
one thing I wanted to add from her experience, and
Mhm.
something I had read not that long ago. We had our guest Mary Elena Kinter, who's running in District 7 not that long ago. She told a story separately about how she just had the flu, and it was a really bad flu, but she had to go to the hospital.
Yep.
Yeah.
She was in the hospital for a couple days. It was really bad. She was dehydrated. They sent her a bill for $40,000 after discharge. So like it's just to the point of rank absurdity.
Right.
It's just pure absurdity what we're doing to each other here. And make no mistake, we are doing this to each other because we don't want to have the military benefits. We don't want everybody to have the benefits that Congress people have. We don't want everybody to have and like Medicare. We don't want everybody to have. And then we give money to, Mark and I talked about it a couple of times, Argentina, Israel. And guess what they have? Universal health care, but we could give them billions
And free
of dollars.
college.
And we can't do it for ourselves, but let's make sure that the government spends obscene amounts of money on AI and other assorted horseshit. Oh, and another thing that Mary Elena shared on the show was similar to your situation. She was in the military. She worked she was in the Navy. She was working as a a nuclear reactor supervisor. Then she had cycled out. She was going to be working as a recruiter, and she got doged.
Yeah.
So Doge came in and cost two of our guests, two women, their jobs, and now they're running for Congress because you know what these chicks said? They said, "Fuck you! I'm going to come get your throat and snatch it out of your neck."
Yeah.
Because this is bullshit what you've done to us and other Americans. And there's thousands of Americans that have been subjected to this because of Doge. It's just, it is one of the most appalling things in a laundry list of appalling things, what Elon Musk and his cronies did. The fact that we allowed like a private citizen who's just of another country come and do this to us, we should never be forgiven for it. We should never be forgiven for allowing that. But go ahead with any points you want to make.
everything that he cut, all the programs that they just willy-nilly cut from USAID.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's hundreds of thousands of women and children are dying now.
Oh, for sure. We know in Africa, there's all kinds of people die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a call with a major group, and I was pretty excited about it, and it was supposed to be like something that might kickstart, the campaign a little bit more, bring in some interest, some outside donors. And it was this group, USMCG, I think, or something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
it was this group that deals with like international foreign policy and
Yep.
like NSAID and
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I
you're telling
spoke
me.
with them last week.
okay. And they had
Yeah, they're
so
great.
I'm looking at their website, and then they have like APAC listed and things like that. And I'm like, honestly, I can't support you. I mean,
Yeah.
you talk about all these programs to support for good reason, all these different refugee programs that we pulled all this support away from. Now you're just going to breed all these terrorists, right? And they were explaining that to me.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
why are you explaining this to me? You are lined up with a Trump administration that is slashing your budget. Like, and you're
Mhm.
asking me to be part of you, but you're lined up with them and APAC, right?
Holy
You
cow.
got APAC on your website. You think
So was this a phone call, Mark? Like you engaged in a conversation?
it was a one-on-one? It was like a
Yeah.
webcam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
And I just told him flat out, like, I'm not interested. I don't even, want to even put my name on that right now because you guys are full of shit.
And
So,
Britt, you talk to them too? Wow.
Mhm.
And neither one of you guys are taking them up on whatever offer they had in mind for you. Huh?
They didn't really have an offer, it was just more of like, here, this is what we're about. And then, and then from there, you could get into different organizations, and it looked like it may end up leading you down probably towards an APAC route at some point. But,
Yeah.
but anyway,
Kill it.
yeah.
There's they had data, which is what I was interested in. I hadn't seen the bit about APAC, so I'm definitely gonna have to look at that because that's
No.
definitely not what I'm supporting. I'm the
Yeah.
only candidate so far who has fully said, well, I should say actually, I was the first candidate. I believe someone has now gotten on the train of being
So-
anti-APAC, but
Yeah.
it's kind of, I think it's the only way forward is anti-APAC and anti-corporate money. We have to be accountable to our constituents. It's the only way. And big money is obviously that's what's corrupting our politicians often before they even get into office with quid pro quo
Yep.
agreements. And that comes across when you look at opponents and you look at who's mentioned on their website, who's in their financial disclosures, and you go, oh, they're from you might not see a specific company on there, but if you do a little bit of research, it's very evident that they are a representative of somebody that you would not want to be supporting. And I think that's one of the hard things for constituents, for voters, is people don't have the time to go through financial disclosures and
Mm-hmm.
find all the information. So I think it's really up to us as, this opposition party, even within the Democratic Party, it's so important for us to educate the electorate as much as we can and arm them with the tools to be able to make the best decision for them. Because obviously, now we know that there's, over the last year or so many orgs have come together to make trackers, like APAC Tracker, or
right. Yeah.
any of those ones where they do the research. And so it makes it a little bit easier for a voter to make their decision and of who they support. And I think that's really important.
All
Yeah,
right,
that's
so
awesome.
we're going to have to wrap it up here pretty soon, but I want to get 2 points out from the conversation that we had. Number one, okay, is that when somebody says that they alone can fix it, we don't fucking vote for that person.
No.
Ever, right?
No.
That's it.
America needs to learn that lesson right now. When somebody
That's number
says,
one.
yeah, we don't need the strong man, right? And
Uh-uh.
then number two, universal healthcare, single payer healthcare makes sense. It's actually going to cost you less money. And we have no visibility right now between the buffer of what hospitals are charging insurance companies and what they are charging us. And they are just getting super rich. And we need to take all those insurance companies out of the picture.
All the middlemen, and that goes all the way to pharmacies, the pharmacy benefit managers that set pricing. And oftentimes it's one entity that oversees the entire system, right? From the time that you are visiting a clinic and what providers you're seeing and what hospital you may go to, and or that they then send you to if you need better or more extensive care, and what drugs are you sent. Like, they own the whole pipeline. And so when they're able to set, one company is above and able to set the pricing for every stop that you make, and they're able to take a cut, like, that's where, our costs gets skyrocketed.
Yeah. Well, Britt,
Yep.
it was a pleasure meeting you.
Yes.
Let's give her some plugs. Mark, are you ready to plug her website?
Yes. You want me?
You do it.
You want me to plug mine or what?
Well, all right. Plug yours and then plug her site. You're the site plugger today.
I'll plug mine real quick. MarkDavisForCongress.com. Please go and donate. I think we're winning right now. I feel like, and we're making a lot of noise, and I'm having a lot of fun talking to people, and we got a lot of energy going on. So, Britt, why don't you take it away?
Yes. Mine is, sorry, yeah, this might be backwards again. Not sure, but it's
No,
Britt.
it's not backwards. Have no
Okay.
fear. Your sign's going to look perfect
Okay, great.
on the show.
Yeah, Britt, the number 4, Congress.com. Yeah, you can sign up to volunteer. Please donate. That's the best way to help, especially a grassroots progressive candidate, is helping give us money on the front end, and so we can get our feet under us, and at least we have a little bit of time. But yeah.
When
All
is
the
the
help we can get.
primary for you, Britt?
Just 18th.
Okay. And
Florida's
Mark,
at
is
the
it the
end.
same in August?
I'm not. Since I'm running as NPA, I don't
Oh, yeah.
primary. I'm going
Okay.
straight to general.
Yep.
All right. Let me wrap it up by saying, Britt, you're an amazing guest.
Mhm.
Tremendous job by you. You're a natural. We'll definitely have you on
Thanks.
again at some point. Mark, I think we should do a ladies' night where we have her and Mary Elena come on. They would bounce off each other very nicely.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yes. I
We need to
finally got
get-
to meet her last weekend at
You
the
did meet her. Oh,
Progressive.
great.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
that's
Florida
awesome.
Progressive Caucus. So yeah, we
That's
were able
awesome.
to meet finally.
Yeah, she's
That's great.
a terrific person and a great candidate. And we have to get Bernard, if you're watching, got to get you on here, homie. You got to get on this show.
Hey,
Okay?
he's,
We're not taking no for an answer. Next time you have a shift at the FD, Mark is driving over there with his camera phone. We're putting you on.
oh, that'd be cool.
All right, Bernard? All right. So we'll wrap it up. Go to Britt4Congress.com and MarkDavisForCongress.com and donate, because they need your money, because they're not taking money from AIPAC and Billionaires and the Epstein class. So they need money from regular people. As Mark says, he needs just $2. Give him
Yeah.
$2. That's it. $2.
Well,
Thank you for watching.
I say $2, and then they usually donate like 10 or 20. So
There you go, man.
yeah. Oh, you say $2.
Every dollar helps. So
Every dollar counts. Thank you for watching Dad Bods and Bad Attitudes. Keep fighting the good fight. We've got great candidates, and stay tuned in the coming weeks for more interviews with great Democratic and independent candidates. Peace.